everyone, Kaiju no Kami here with...
I'm Cruellica Kain.
And we have Demigorgon Ducky this time around.
Quack, quack.
No, it'd be more like...
It's very hard.
It's very what?
It's very hard to scratch my chin while doing that. I will also say that thing seems more top front heavy than Joker Ducky.
Than Joker Ducky?
We have cheap entertainment. You can get those for 4 monthly installments of $5.99.
4 monthly installments of $5.99?
No.
Man, I was gonna say that was expensive. $5. But
actually, they were close to $5. I mean, they're about $20.
I know. I'm just thinking about the installments. The installments of $6.
Okay.
But anyway, we are...
That's it. Don't feel guilty.
No, I want Greek.
There's a personal history behind that, but we're not telling. Meaner.
Anyway, we are here to talk about Kamen Rider Revice, episodes 15 and 16, the final episodes to air in 2021, because we're now 2022.
2022.
20202.
Everyone should be wearing tutus to celebrate.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay.
Not happening.
Everyone except us.
Thank you.
There we go.
Alright.
Compromise.
So we continue where we left off with last episode, where...
Gracias, dead moms.
Adios, dead mans.
Where Aguilera is tied up to become the next sacrifice, and you can see the disappointment in her eyes. And even when they're like, yep, she's like, okay, but her eyes are like, oh crap, this is not what I was promised. This deal is getting worse all the time.
Those not nuns did a number on her.
Well, okay, so with the introduction of the additional Deadmon sacrifices, or the Giftex, we now have Julio, who apparently did not know about this.
He's a white knight for Aguilera.
And we got a little bit, kind of like a pseudo backstory in a way, of that she rescued
Well, that
him.
was the next episode.
I know, but just kind of combining for that whole dialogue, that he is that white knight because she rescued him from some situation that he feels he needs to pay her back. And So, I liked how this kind of concluded the first arc, and how 16 essentially starts up the second arc. But with this conclusion, we find out that George is Batman, because apparently he has a backup plan for everything.
George Hikari does not just lose.
George Karizaki. But yeah, but I was kind of amazed because everybody's like, okay, crap, we need to get the Gifu Vice stamp back. And George
is like, yeah, I've already got you taken care of.
I know.
Halfway there.
I'm like, okay, he is literally Batman. I will have to say, my favorite line of the episode, before we get too far into anything, is when he gets up to the barrier to try to leave, and he's like, God damn. in like perfect English, like, God damn. I was like, oh my God.
But yeah,
one, they set this on a children's show, and two, I loved it.
But so it turns out the Dead Man's hideout was actually connected to an actual nightclub,
Which is so fitting.
which was pretty awesome. But yeah, I like when they're going into the nightclub. And man, their nightclub numbers have gotten low since they started.
Well, that's because Kamen Rider's been kicking butt.
But yeah, I liked how they just invaded the nightclub and everything. And I liked, we have Demons and Chameleon Boy break through the wall. Then, who else? Then it was...
The Squid.
Squid.
Squid and...
Plantation.
that went through the wall, and
Plankton, I guess.
Yeah, and Revy's like, you know there's a door! Or not Revice, he's like, you know there's a door, right?
Well, and so...
But yeah, it was pretty much just the first episode was all just basically invading the dead man's place.
Wait, didn't Vice knock someone through a wall and then intentionally knock them out a fresh wall?
I think so.
Yes,
Oh.
he did. So he really has no right to argue.
He's not no ground to stand on because he keeps Ryder kicking it.
But I like this episode because it gave us like a really clear conclusion. Like, I actually felt like, okay, arc 1 is done.
Well, and it was weird because when I learned that the arc was ending with that episode, I was like, oh god, are we gonna have a rushed mess like we just had with that Zenkaiger episode, the pre-Christmas episode, where it was all this stuff just done in one episode? But no, this actually felt like it was still well plotted. And I did like though when Icky and them do the rider kick on two of the dead mans, and you actually see them fully disintegrate.
Now, we did get some rushed semi-farewells to the villains. Let's see, demons, basically, if even if it costs my life, I will crush you.
Which he never did.
He was somewhat denied. Then Icky is taking on, yeah, I may hurt people in this fight, but I'll bear that burden, so no more faltering.
No, I actually liked how he said, when the guy was like, are you still an egotist? And he's like, well, I'm working on that. Which I thought was like a legitimately honest answer that made him a lot more human again of the, I'm trying. I have not accomplished and achieved the goal, but I'm still working hard.
I'm so awesome I got over being an egotist because I'm just that good.
I know.
But,
sorry, but Sakura just giving one last, but you're creepy, before taking these guys out. Now, I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but I'm surprised that all of our new dead mans are gone.
I'm not, because I kind of felt like they were legitimately, I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but that they were a means to an end. They were
just there to be sacrifices.
Well, now they have been.
Well, I just don't feel like they were there for the long haul. They got arcs, which I was very happy that it wasn't like a one and done thing of that they were introduced, they became part of the team, and then they're just sitting on their laurels waiting.
Also though, as we had in the next episode where Icky and Daiji are like, okay, well, if that's what we have to do with Phase 3 Deadmans, then we're actually going to kill them. We need to be the ones to do it and not have Sakura have to do that.
But going to the earlier part of the episode, just because we're focusing on the second half, because the second half, admittedly, while the entire episode was awesome, the second half was so much more energy. But we did have in the first half, like this whole trying to figure out how to get. It was because they figured out where the deadmans were, but not how to get there. So they're brilliant. Well, I say they're brilliant.
Ruthless.
Their ruthless plan, and I mean ruthless as for Icky and Sakura. Daiji was the unwilling participant.
It's like, hang on, let's think about this for a minute.
Because
at least don't make it hurt.
They decided, well, let's ask Kagero where the entrance to the Deadman site is. Because he's been there, not thinking that to get Kagero, they have to basically abuse and knock out their poor brother. And this is a middle child syndrome.
Well, I like when Sakura's holding Daiji so that he can do the rider kick.
So, middle child syndrome. If I've experienced this more so in adulthood when my mom remarried and I gained 2 siblings. Because for the siblings, one is older than me by less than a year, and the other one is younger than me by 5 years. So, being that middle child, the one thing I learned that happily I didn't have to experience as a kid was that the middle child is usually the one that's abused the most. Like, when I unknowingly became that middle child, I was used for advice, used to be that negotiating factor between the two of them to try to speak their language because they couldn't agree. And I was like, wow, if I had to deal with this my entire life, I would be like Daiji, having to go off into like some plane in the sky to get away from my family for a little bit, because I've learned that a middle child is a lot harder than being either the oldest or the youngest.
Well, each can lay a special claim to the burdens they must do.
So,
but the reason why I say that is because you have the baby of the family, Sakura, that mom thinks of as the princess that can't get hurt. And then you have the eldest child, Iki, who is treated as like Japan's biggest busybody. And Daiji is like, my alter ego is the confident one. And I loved it because they do the rider kick, and they're not sure if it worked. Like, they unintentionally probably harmed their brother, and then they have Kagero looking like, what are you doing?
Then they intentionally harm their brother, because the negotiation for this information, I'm guessing it was paid in advance, but they made good on their deal for super spicy curry, and then they leave him with footing the bill. I'm convinced Kagero took that gulp of water, because water actually makes it worse, as one final screw you to Daiji.
Well, I think what was so funny is he drinks that water, leans back like he's knocked out. Daiji wakes up, he's like, wait, how did I get, oh my god, my mouth is burning! and the siblings are like, yay, our brother is back, not thinking of, oh my god, we're so sorry, Daiji, we literally sacrificed you.
We just pimped out your body.
oh, I did like also at the beginning of the episode.
Kamen Rider, a pimp named Slickback.
I did like at the beginning when at the bathhouse they're giving out duckies for Christmas, but I bet they weren't like these ones. They're probably just regular yellow ones.
They were regular yellow, but they had a little scarf and Santa hat. But yes, baths are the step towards world peace.
But so rubber duckies, as you can see, which are the theme of our Christmas, similar to Revice's, and
ours are cooler.
These are cooler, and they're all thanks to Silver Quill. He got one for all of us in our group. It was so cool.
It was Heihachi for chrysalid and Jin for Advent?
Yes, and well, I've got E Honda for our other friends. I've got a few more I need to actually ship out.
And then another funny scene in this episode was when the chameleon took Vice's form. And they're trying to figure out which Vice is Vice. So he's like, what do you think of my family? Oh, they're really nice. I like them. They're tasty. All right, the one who said they're really nice is the imposter.
And then he asked, what did you mean by tasty? And
it's like the fact that he trusts Vice to be that brutally honest and weird. But then even he's stunned. I mean, I do feel for Vice as he seems to be getting overshadowed.
He seems to be getting overshadowed, but the one thing that they're doing really good in this series is, even though he's kind of in the background a little bit more, is they still use him for at least that comedic effect. Or like when they're rescuing Julio and Aguilera, using him as the voice of reason when Aguilera is yelling at Iki to say, no, stop, I don't want to be rescued, leave me here. And even Vice looks at her and he's like, yeah, sorry, that's not going to work. Telling no to the biggest busybody changes nothing. And then Iki, which I really respected, he's like, yeah, he's right.
Well, then we have it. Gifu takes off in the spaceship, and Iki uses all the attacks from the entire last 12 episodes to destroy it.
But wait, as I recall, Vice knocked Aguilera out to carry her.
Right.
That was after.
So, I mean, that's like I kind of wish Mario would take that. Okay, Peach, you're enjoying this kidnapping too much. It's a little it's nap time. Boom.
Well, yes.
Peach, it's a nap time.
But
Duh.
I actually have to say, I respect advice a lot because it goes against his nature of being a demon, essentially, or a devil, however you want to call him, to go out of his way to rescue others.
Though I'm wondering what was up with Leva waggling her tongue. I thought it was her fangs at first, but her tongue at Aguilera. And Aguilera's like, what are you doing? Get away from me. And I'm just thinking, Sakura, do we need to talk about how you feel towards other ladies? Is it possible that she's always been attracted to Aguilera? Sakura, you're young, you're blossoming into a woman. We respect your orientation.
Sakura could be many things outside of just simply a lesbian. She could be bisexual, she could be pansexual, she could just like people for people, so...
Who cares?
But
I actually felt... No, to be fair, before we continue, I actually felt the reason why Leva went over to her, to Aguilera, is actually because Leva is supposed to be weakness, right?
Yeah.
And the one weakness that she has had, not probably emotional, but more so jealousy, is the fact that she has always been owned by Aguilera. Anytime there was that fight between the two of them, Aguilera always came out on top as the victor. So it could be that Leva was showcasing that jealousy, because when snakes hiss, there's multiple reasons why they hiss, but more the common reason is to feel out the enemy to see if they're going to be a danger.
Or she could have been blowing raspberries at her the whole time, you know.
Exactly, that too.
Although at first I thought she was going to go rescue Aguilera, but then I was like, no, you can't do that. You ain't got no fingers. You can't unbind the things.
So then the next episode we've got, after Aguilera uses Queen Bee to turn...
Okay, Queen Bee's design.
I like it.
I loved it, especially with the way it looked like the honey was dripping down her face as hair.
So then she leaves, and Oteka and Chameleon Boy leave.
Yeah, they all get away, and it's like, wow, great job, guys. You had them, and you let them slip through your fingers.
That's because there's still another 30 episodes to go.
Except for that chameleon guy.
And then we go into, we've got Demons, who seems to be having some issues.
I'm wondering if maybe because he doesn't have his demon or his devil,
he's getting sick.
He's getting sick because there's not that counterbalance.
And yet, George seems to be treating it as one grand joke. Now, granted, George views the world through a very different lens.
George is very flippant about everything. Even when, in the prior episode and in this episode as well, when he's looking at Gifu, he's looking at it as like a little kid trying to figure out how he can take it apart and put it back together and see what extra parts are left over.
And he's also, okay, bye, demon lady.
Oh, that was hilarious when he's just like, okay, I'm out.
Sensing some danger. Oh, goddamn.
But yeah, so then we have Hiromu tell them that, Hiromi, they're like, yeah, your parents might be in danger now because we don't know what the Deadmans are going to do since they don't have their base anymore.
Oh, yeah, and we kind of skipped over the father having his back injured because he tried to sneeze for YouTube.
He tried to do Ripley's Believe It. I really think he lives a Ripley's Believe It or Not world where he's going to do the most outrageous things to get himself in the Guinness Book of World Records. And apparently he wanted to consecutively sneeze as many times as he can.
Within 1 minute.
Within 1 minute. And I don't know if anybody has ever thought about this, but there's two things that are very hard to do when sneezing. First is breathing. You can't breathe where it does affect your body. And then two is you can't control the spasming. Like, they actually talk about your eyes get affected if you sneeze too much as well, because you have a hard time either blinking or not blinking.
You'll go blind?
But you can't breathe because you literally stop breathing for a second to sneeze. Well, a very small partition of a second. But it's, you do jerk. It's an involuntary reaction. So him sneezing, so I'm like, dude. But I know we're backtracking because we're leapfrogging a lot, so I apologize. But we commented when we were watching the episode about them
Crack
loving
kills.
showing asses everywhere. Because obviously they're a married couple, so she's trying to scratch or rub his lower back because that's where he threw it out. But he had to pull down his pants, so you definitely see his plumber's crack.
Yeah, we had a half moon.
Okay, I will admit that XA, your review of it, and the full moon on display there kind of shook me out of that, but Kamen Rider. Definitely a Kamen Rider waxing.
But then again, for all the weird things about
It was
Japan...
a waxing crescent.
For all the weird things about Japan, the one thing I've noticed is that they don't have an issue with nudity like we do.
At least back nudity. Frontal nudity.
Well, back nudity because like a bathhouse and things like that.
Well, I mean, they just want the bare facts. Look for the bare necessities.
But the reason why we mention that is because in this episode, Hiromi mentions, oh, well, Phoenix can help you with your back. And so, obviously, he goes up to Phoenix to get whatever needs to be done there. And that's why they go shopping.
It's always fun.
Well, that and they're shopping and gonna lure.
Can I just say one thing about the shopping mart that they're at? I'm super jealous of how stocked it was and how much toilet paper they had.
Oh, 2020 all over.
Because even still, to this day, there's not as much toilet paper in stores as you would think.
So,
So
their mother gets attacked, then tries to lure Iki out to stab him, and he's like, nope, we already anticipated this. Kain throws him over. And this is after we had where Chameleon Boy said, oh, I'll help Oteka take over the world, because that's what Oteka's goal is.
Meanwhile, Julio was trying to actually get some bare shots of Aguilera.
oh my god.
He can claim any noble intentions, but I think he's...
I like how you said bear shots when all I thought of with the whole honey thing was Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the... What? Wait, are you trying to rule 34 Winnie the Pooh?
No!
You!
I'm just saying because of the honey!
Cruellica, you deviant.
And I imagine there's been Rule 34s of very, very...
Anyway, back to the episode.
Let's talk more about Aguilera.
So I like when all three of them were like, to their mom, alright, don't worry, Mom, we'll show you why we're the heroes of this show.
Okay, but I need to interrupt.
Oh my god, get over it.
No, I can't, because this was hilarious. As they were having this family discussion,
Oh, God.
and the parents thanked the commander and asked him to support, the computer froze. Cruellica and I both thought this was a gimmick. The touching music stopped. Hard stop. Everyone paused and just stared at the mother. And I was waiting for Vice to pop out and make a comment.
So was I! I didn't think it was a computer issue. I thought, oh my god, this is just...
This is what the show has sort of trained us to expect in humor. This hard shutdown of emotion. And even though that was a computer glitch, then we get to the fight. And I want to contextualize this. This is after the intense saccharinity that is Ultraman Trigger cheering for Trigger Dark. And as a brony, I found it too much. Here's this one, The Denial of Love.
Oh God! So we have Mom, and so Mama Igarashi is a perfect example of a stage mom. She is like in it, like so enthusiastic, like go Ikki, go Sakura, go Daiji. And then you have Vice, and he's like, what about me? Hang in there, Chew, Vice.
You're doing fine, Vice.
And then I like the way. So then when Revy transforms into the Ultraman form, and Vice is like, look, I made this shield. Good luck, Iggy. And the music stops.
I felt so bad for Vice because he just wanted in on the mom moment. Like, Mom, it was like the notice me senpai moment.
It was like the little brother, can I play video games with you guys too? Daddy.
But it was so adorable because he's like, I made this. Please acknowledge me, Mom. But she was like so in it. She was kicking Love. Love had this big like goose egg, and even the guy who's supposed to be watching out for her, like holding on to her shoulders, keep her safe.
After a while, he's like,
I'm done. Once Daiji and Sakura came back, he's like, you take her.
So this is the complete opposite of Ultraman Trigger, and I love it.
My God.
I forgot. Julio said smile and got a water bottle thrown at him. I feel like Revice is directly opposing Trigger. It's the anti-Trigger, or Trigger's the counter-Vice.
Well, yeah, because a few weeks ago we had Aguilera slap Julio first aid smile. Now she throws a water bottle at him.
I feel like it's a direct challenge, and I'm on Revice's side all the way. Just like, we can super edit this. Anytime they say something in Trigger, we just cut to Vice going, boo.
But yeah, that was hilarious. And then, so, Chameleon gets killed, and we see him go back to Commander with the uniform on, then the Commander in the black, and then he actually turns to his regular self, and then disintegrates.
I hate this.
But I don't want to go, Mr. Stark.
Well, and so we can only assume, based on him disintegrating, he is going to merge with Gifu like the other two did. And so when we get to Phoenix, when we see Phoenix during the latter part of the episode, Hiromi and George are there, and George is like, yeah, it's like stone, it's like a rock. And I'm thinking, ooh, Dr. Stone, I love that show. But then he was like, but if I amplify the sound to 500 times...
5,000.
5,000 times sharper than what humans could hear, you hear this heartbeat. And I was like, okay.
Hey, have a heart.
So Hiromi is now the commander. So he's in charge. Well, I say in charge, but I think George is technically in charge. And so Hiromi goes to rest because something is truly wrong. Hopefully it comes to a head where they can figure it out.
Maybe it's upgrade form.
And then one of the assistants come in looking for him, and George basically taking over, because I truly think he's in charge, is like, okay, you can just tell me. What? How? I'm sorry. He is not the literal boss. You don't just say, oh, you can tell me, and she willingly does.
Given his clearance, though.
So you find out then, the guy that Hiromi had brought up to get some x-rays and get medical care, only person we can think of is Daddy Igarashi, doesn't have a heart. He has literally a black spot or an empty spot where the heart should be.
YouTube will do that to you. I want to point that out right now. I'm pretty sure an x-ray will reveal a singularity in my chest.
So he doesn't have a heart.
The dad is heartless. And then Sakura leaves dinner to go to...
The crazy, weird family's house.
Because she forgot to pick something up there. And she's all like, "Oh, this house is empty. Let me go investigate. Ooh, secret room. I'm going to go investigate that."
Secret room with a very vibrant color coming from
Green.
downstairs.
Ooh, room full of chainsaws. Let me hide there.
Oh, I love that commercial, actually.
Yeah. Although I said to the screen, leave your shoes on and get this place some character.
And then you also said when she was going to walk down the stairs, haven't you seen a horror movie? And I had to preface it of, haven't you seen an American horror movie? Because more American horror movies are known for that creepy-ass light down the hallway.
Don't be an American idiot. We did skip over that Vice is watching this happy family consuming meat, and
He feels sad.
he's like, this is torture. He had to watch Daiji's demon enjoying spicy curry and getting his full.
One other thing we also skipped on. Bitches love cannons.
Oh yes, love is okay. That's not her actual name, but the fact that she turns into a cannon now, she's a walking arsenal of adorableness.
So, the only other thing that I think will help for the story going forward is, it happened near the end of the last episode, I completely forgot about it until now, is when Gifu was kind of waking up, so to speak, when the Sombrero spaceship was going into the air.
Sombrero spaceship.
Vice was starting to feel pain.
Yep, from Gifu.
From Gifu, so it makes me wonder how that's going to come into play. Is it temporary loyalty between Ikki and Vice? Is it, or does Gifu hold all the true control?
Or is a demon, which is a part of every person, responding to something entirely unnatural?
So, one other thing also to think about, since we were doing some Knock to Trigger, we're now 16 episodes into Revice. We have not had a single clip show.
Well, he jinxed it.
If we get a clip show.
He jinxed it. Okay, I'm going to set
Oh, we'll get a clip show at
I'm
some
going to
point.
set up the bunker now because it's going to be a clip show next because he jinxed it. Everyone, hashtag blame Kaiju no Kami.
It's
I
not
love
gonna be a
it.
clip show. We saw Vice get his new form.
That doesn't mean anything.
They could get it during a clip show.
That's entirely
But anyway,
possible.
so what did you guys think of these last two episodes
I'm
of
suspect
Revice?
of him now.
I blame him.
Okay,
Kaiju
cool.
is sus. Kaiju is sus.
Are you like, it was a kind of a joke? Or are you like, God damn, that was like a Demogorgon, awesome? Let us know in the comments. Click like, subscribe, the bell notification. You can support us on Patreon at Kaiju no Kami, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord at Kaiju no Kami, website's Creativity by Design, LLC.com, and there's a merch place where you can buy Kaiju no Kami merchandise there, and you can also support him at...
MLP Silver Quill on YouTube, DeviantArt, and Twitter. Also, I'm still looking into IHateTachibana.com. It is not registered yet. I'll just watch some cyber squatters. I'll actually try and get this.
Uh-oh.
Tachibana!
Ah! I'm hiding in the shelter. I'm hiding in the shelter. There's a tissue stuck under this. This is the...
Don't show that to the world!
What is this disgusting? I'm showing the world.
Well,
Because
until next...
Marcus, get that!
I'm not touching that. I'm afraid to touch this now.
Until next time. And the new year has started. So let's hope this year's better than last.
Yeah, because we ended the year with a car accident. So bye!
Bye. Did you... Whatever.